Welcome, Donut Lords, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
And we are back. We took a week off so I could go to Disney. Yay! And now we are back and we are hitting the ground running, quite literally, as we discuss Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
All right. So, first question, Mike. Was this the first time you've seen it?
It was.
Was that the entire impetus of why we're reviewing this movie? It's because you hadn't seen it yet?
Actually, the entire impetus for why we're doing this movie is because Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is coming out.
Yep.
And it's got my favorite character from Sonic lore as the antagonist.
Okay.
And I really want to see that movie, but I couldn't see it without seeing Sonic 1 and 2. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should review these.
Perfect excuse. Perfect excuse.
Yep.
So we're talking Sonic. Now, I had seen this before because my son really loves these movies. This one we didn't see in theaters because pandemic.
Yeah.
But, 2019, we were treated with all of the, righteous, fair, and totally level-headed discourse that comes when you reveal a CG design character way too soon.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, though, that was a horrendous-looking Sonic.
Yes, it was a horrendous-looking Sonic.
Yeah.
But, they fixed it, obviously, did. And I don't know if they bankrupted the visual arts group that did it, but you got your big eyes, so I hope you're happy.
Yes, I'm very happy, actually.
Okay, all right.
And I mean, to be fair, even with the additional CG work, this movie made bank.
It did. Even I think the second one actually did better.
Yeah, I think so.
Another. That's for next week.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah. Sorry. You already mentioned we have to watch these two before you go see Sonic 3. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. So, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And this kind of kept racing through my mind throughout watching this movie. Huh?
Pun intended.
I didn't even realize I made that pun, so unintended. Because we have been treated to such a dearth of terrible live-action video game movies.
Yeah.
There are very few exceptions. I mean, in terms of just a win-loss record here, of live-action video game adaptations.
Honestly, I think they've had a lot more success on TV than they have in movies.
They have. But do you feel that it increases the quality or just the overall enjoyment of a movie, a live action? Again, we're going to stay with live action here. Video game adaptations, if they are throwing Easter eggs from the game in there. Does it improve quantity or quality, or does it improve enjoyment? I'm going to let you know why I'm asking this in a moment.
I think it kind of depends
what your thoughts are.
It depends on the Easter egg itself, because there's some that are just thrown in there. There's like a quick blink and you miss it, and those are just for the fans.
Yeah.
There are others that they have more of an importance about it, and sometimes that's an importance that's earned, and sometimes it isn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so the reason I'm asking is that I simply don't get the appeal of this movie.
Oh.
I truly don't.
Okay.
And I can understand if the appeal from this movie is coming from the fact that they were able to get a fully integrated CG Sonic and were able to include all of these little Easter eggs involved in this movie. In this movie where he is in the real world, but you can still utilize certain aspects of the game in the real world. I can totally understand that. But I just don't get the appeal of, and I see people who are raving about these movies. They can't wait for the third movie to come out. And I'm just like, I don't get it.
I'll say I enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
It by no means is it a perfect movie. There are definitely some glaring flaws in it, But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I mean, Sonic himself, I thought he was fantastic. I thought Ben Schwartz does a fantastic job as the voice. And I genuinely care. Like when he has those moments of like watching the baseball game at the beginning, and he sees all the kids like having a high five, and he's like, he just like you feel his loneliness because he's been there for 10 years. He's had to keep himself hidden, and his interactions with James Marsden, yeah.
It's James Marsden, yeah.
Yeah, I always get him and Jason Marsden mixed up, even though they actually no relation whatsoever.
Mm.
But I really enjoyed their relationship. I thought it was a solid one. I thought it developed really nicely, and I always liked James Marsden. I think he's not a leading man by any means, but as a backup actor, like a secondary character, I think
James Marsden is a solid hand who has the great fortune of not aging.
That is very true. He still looks exactly the same in this movie as he did in X-Men.
X-Men?
Yeah.
I mean, he was in a movie in the night, like one of those horror movies in the 90s. I don't remember which one it was, but
was it like Dangerous Minds or no, not?
it was something like that. Yeah, it was something that came out around the same time as like the I Know What You Dids and the Urban Legends and everything.
Yeah, and like the faculty and stuff like that.
Late period 90s horror. I found, quite honestly, man, I found Sonic to be obnoxious. A lot of that came out of the fact I felt like he was coming out of an early 90s cereal commercial. He just full of attitude, doesn't listen to anybody. You can't tell me, man. I don't abide by your rules, man. And it's for me, I mean, I understand, where you're coming from in terms of, building that emotional weight. A lot of that emotional weight was coming from the animation, music and filmmaking. It wasn't so much Ben Schwartz's performance in this movie. Now, I do appreciate the fact that Ben Schwartz is able to kind of move away from the Jean-Ralphio Saperstein of it all, because he also voices Huey, Louie, or Dewey. I can't remember which one on DuckTales.
He voices Dewey.
Dewey, okay. Yeah. So it's hard when you're dealing with that. But quite honestly, what really takes me out of this movie is the fact that every single piece of this movie has to take a back seat to Jim Carrey's unsanctioned buffoonery.
Yeah. I will agree with that. I'll partially agree with that. For me, the biggest flaw of this movie, other than like when they actually get to San Francisco, there's a bit of janky CG in that one.
Very janky. There are times when the CG seems seamless, and then there are other times when it didn't look like well assembled.
Yeah,
they spent all their money having to redesign the hedgehog.
Yeah, it seemed like I felt it was really clear. It was really great until like there was some like straight on shots of him standing in that house in San Francisco. I'm like, oh, that it looks like he's in front of like a green screen or something. It's not great. But yeah, no, it's. I've played the Sonic games. I freaking love Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Although I haven't played them in a while. I want to really play them again. But at no point did I feel, except maybe in the post-credit sequence, that's when I started. Okay, he's starting to become the Robotnik that I know and hate.
Right.
Other than that, he's just generic villain 101.
Well, he's doing the Riddler.
Yeah.
That's kind of the biggest issue I have with this movie is that for the most part, he is just taking every note and beat from the Riddler, which was 25 years before. Sorry, I had to do the math there.
I will say
there would be no math on this show.
You cannot tell me that he and Agent Stone are not in a relationship.
I don't know.
They are at
no, I think that Agent Stone has a massive, crush on him, be it admiration.
So it's like kind of a Smithers and Burns thing?
Just like a dude love kind of thing. And not so much, because Robotnik is all about the robots, which the less said about that, the better. Kids, keep your safe searches on.
But like that scene where like he tells Stone, "All right, grab yourself, throw yourself against the wall," and then he was like, "Robots are so much better than yours." And then like Stone just like looks away. He's like, "You really know how to hurt me." He had that look on his face, like
it's all Stone, but it's all Stone. You're right. It is a Smithers style relationship with Stone. But just there's so much like Neil McDonough, man. You get him for one scene and you waste him just to be berated by Jim Carrey. Not even Dr. Robotnik at this point. You're just being berated by Jim Carrey. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of that same type of thing that worked really, really well in the mid-90s that we have to ask ourselves, going back in time, if Jim Carrey had won the Oscar for The Truman Show, do you think that we might have been kind of spared a lot of like what he has gone back to, which is just going back to what works, kind of like what Kevin Smith has done with the View Universe, or the Smodverse, I guess you call it now.
It's hard to say, but yeah, I mean his robots I thought were kind of fun, like especially that the car that kept getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, Carey himself, like I said, at no point did I feel he was Robotnik from the video games. Like when he was on the mushroom and he shaved his head and he had the mustache, I'm like, okay, he's starting to get the look down. I don't know. That's why I'm kind of hoping that we get more Robotnik in Sonic 2 and less Jim Carrey.
Right.
Because he was definitely for me the weak part of this movie.
It really was tough. It really gets tough because you can only watch so much of that, and after 30 plus years, of watching that, it's just we get it. You need attention.
Yeah.
Even like that scene when he's in the van and he's got like his diabolical playlist on. It's like, who is this scene made for? This scene is all just it was made for him, so he have his little dance.
And that they can play some pretty cool music. Yeah. Another weak part for this one, if you don't mind moving off, Gary. The unexcusably antagonistic sister-in-law. Why was she in this movie?
I will quick minor league spoiler. She does appear in the second movie in a much larger part.
Okay,
I still don't. I don't get why she was there, other than you gotta hide.
Yeah, I mean, telling her daughter to like put on her Fitbit, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, she was just like, she was over the top antagonistic for what I can tell, absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom seemed like a fairly nice guy, and you could tell that there was a lot of love between Tom and
Maddie and him. Yeah.
Maddie, yeah. So I'm like, what did Tom do to this woman to make her absolutely hate his ever-living guts for no reason?
I can't remember if they explained that in the second movie. We have to go back and rewatch it anyway, so I guess we'll find out then.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's almost like this movie is like, you got Jim Carrey here. Why not get a sassy black lady in here as well?
But I gotta say the scene outside the elevator had me dying with laughter.
Oh, where he's stuffed in the bag?
Yeah. This is even worse. This is even worse than the dog cage you had me stuck in. He's a kid, but he's not mine. Don't worry.
Yeah. I did like the whole reasoning for the rings themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of cool. And I think the rings actually is part of the game.
Yes.
The game. Well, I know you have to collect the rings. You got to collect the rings. But do those transport you to the next worlds?
There are rings that do transport you. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. I mean, the rings that Sonic collects there so basically is life, because you get hit, you lose your rings, and you have to catch rings before you, unless you get hit again.
Right.
But there are other rings that do like say you hit the halfway point and you've got over 50 rings, then it opens up a portal to the special
Okay.
stage and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's been a while since I played Sonic. I have it on my retro gaming system.
Um, the Long Claw was actually created, I believe, just for this game, for this movie.
That makes a lot of sense because Longclaw barely played a part in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, for the 2 minutes that we had her, though, I actually quite liked her. I thought she was an effective mother figure for young Sonic.
Right. But that was the issue, though, is that they didn't establish enough of a character for us to even get attached to it. I mean, she looked like one of the owls of Ga'Hoole. So,
and nice little cameo in the Kid in the Tribe there.
oh,
I'm sure we'll be getting more of in Sonic 2. Because I know Knuckles is in it.
Right. Yeah, now you get me thinking. I'm gonna watch it next week.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of feel like, while the movie itself, just on overall quality, I would never disparage anybody from enjoying this movie. I don't think it's a trash movie. It just isn't appealing to me.
I
like a lot of junk, and I can't.
I was looking. Let me see. When I first saw the trailers, for this, I was like, all right, it looks like it could be fun. And I saw Jim Carrey. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Jim Carrey is like the weak point of this one. And I never watched the movie. I have not watched the movie, and pretty much my thoughts from the trailer are still effective. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Jim Carrey was the weak point. The climax where he's revived by the power of friendship, I'm like, that works in like, video games and anime. Doesn't work as well in live action movies.
No, it doesn't.
And the whole final battle where he's just bouncing around. I'm like, you know what? Again, that works better in video games and anime than it does in live action movies. But I enjoyed the rest of the movie so much that I'm willing to forgive that. The two like kind of Quicksilver moments I thought were fantastic. Where he does the run around to the I had fun with this.
I have made my peace about that because I hated it in Justice League. I hated it in The Flash.
I don't even remember in Justice League.
Anytime The Flash did his weird ruddy thingy. And a lot of that is because, well, first of all, I feel like it was perfected in in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
It should have never been touched after that. Even future X-Men films that tried to do that failed horribly. The Sweet Dreams I made of this looks terrible compared to...
they did it in Apocalypse as well when he was...
They did Apocalypse. They also did it in Dark Phoenix, too. And the less said about that entire movie, the better.
Yeah, I have absolutely no desire to keep Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. But that's why my speedsters need to just simply be fast. Makari from Eternals... That's how I want my speedsters. Just run fast. You don't need to have extra powers. You don't need to throw lightning when you run too fast.
Setting up the bar and all that. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time, when you
we did it. Yeah, and it seemed weird because things seemed to move at a faster clip.
Oh yeah, when he faced off against Robotnik.
He pushed Maddie and Tom off that building.
Yeah.
And they went back to doing the whole thing. But things were getting closer to him that they weren't before. It's almost like he wasn't moving as fast. Or
Well, because Robotnik had the quill that powered his, so he's able to go at the max match the speed.
Yeah, but that's the machine, not Robotnik. Robotnik's finger was moving in slow motion. It wasn't stopped in the time that
because he didn't activate the quill yet. He was moving slowly. Then finally he hit the button, activated the quill, and he was going to.
But all the guys in the bar were completely at a standstill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. None of them were moving at all. So if he's running as fast as he can to save his best friend,
I still had fun with him. I thought I really enjoyed those scenes.
Yeah. Again, I could go my entire life without seeing another one of them.
Who knows if I don't. Like, I haven't seen Sonic 2, so I don't know if they use them again. But
I'm trying to remember. I remember one specific complaint I had about Sonic 2 that I did not have in this movie. But we'll have to get to that next week. Yeah. Other than that, man, I don't know what else I could say about this movie. I mean, again, I tried. This is the second time I've watched this movie. I've tried.
I had a lot of. I mean, they had a few nice cameos too. Like the waitress in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually the current voice of Amy Rose in the Sonic video games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
yeah. Easter eggs that only the fans are gonna know.
And yeah, one of the majors in the scene was Gary Chalk, who I believe has voiced Eggman in some of the video games. Okay. I know he voiced Optimus Primal in the Beast Wars. He's been in a lot of stuff, so I'm
right.
You know, like I said, I had fun with it. I really bought the emotional stakes of Sonic and his connection with Donut Lord and the Pretzel Girl.
Yep.
Yeah. So you know what, I enjoyed this movie and I would watch it again.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's on Hulu all month and Paramount Plus. So
I have no desire to get Paramount Plus, so I probably won't be seeing the Knuckles show anytime soon.
Okay.
I don't know. I bounce back and forth. Sometimes I want to get Paramount Plus to watch Star Trek, and sometimes I don't.
I used my mother's passwords for it, so they're all through Amazon.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. You got anything else you want to say about Sonic? Because I think I'm about tapped out there.
Nah, I'm good. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
Okay. Excellent. Well, as you're aware, next week we're going to be talking about Sonic 2, where Tails shows up.
That is another nice little Easter egg, is that Tails is voiced by the voice of Tails from the video games. Colleen, oh dang, what's her name? Colleen O'Shaughnessy.
All right.
And until Shadow showed up in the video games, Tails has been my favorite character, so I'm really excited about that.
Okay, well, I'm interested in seeing what you think about Tails' appearance in this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, we want to know, what are your thoughts on Sonic? Do you love it? Are you a Sonic fan? Or are you kind of like me, where you're just like, okay?
Are you more like him, or are you more like me?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Leave a polite comment below. Also, guys, we're back. You can feel free to subscribe, because that's how you get all of our videos. We do this every week. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We also host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. We are also on the socials. We are Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook. We are at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter for the time being. But I have just begun really putting the push on Blue Sky. I would like to be out of Twitter by the end of the year. So if you are following us on Twitter already, follow us on X. You're a guaranteed follow. All you have to do is find us. Yeah. And I will follow you back. That is my gentleman's agreement with you. We're also on Threads, but nobody uses Threads. So boom.
Yeah.
And anyway, next week we're going to be talking a little bit about Sonic 2. So check that out. I'm curious to see what y'all think of that one. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.